Hello, Grots and Gits. It's been a minute. I have absolutely missed you. I had an awesome vacation. We got caught up in a hurricane. Things went crazy. Let's learn about some of the most underutilized units in the game. This is going to be a series of videos I'm doing. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about Chaos armies because there are a lot of armies in the game that are just not using some of the units they really need to be using. I'm going to make an argument for some that some people are going to get really upset about and some people are going to be very excited about. But one thing that I promise you is that if you try to utilize these units in the ways, specifically how I lay forth towards you, what you will notice is that not every list needs to be the meta list because there's a lot of really good units that can come up with some really exciting combinations if you get a little creative in your brain. So let's kick it off with one of the armies that I'm actually really passionate about right now. I never thought I would be, but I'm having a blast playing them. We're going to talk about the Chaos Demons. Let's break it down. All right, and we're going to start with the Demon Prince himself. So basically, I have not seen Demon Princes in 10th edition at all. There was a very brief moment in World Eaters where we were running a Demon Prince who would give a 4-up invulnerable to save to all of the troops, but that kind of got super nerfed, so no one's running that anymore. But I'm going to talk about not even the Demon Prince with wings, because there is a pretty cool build in Chaos Space Marines for Renegade Raiders where you can build a Demon Prince with wings, but I'm actually talking about the humble Demon Prince in the Demon's Index. The Demon Prince on foot. This guy actually is really, really good in that army. It's a little bit surprising because we always talk about the Demon Prince as being just overcosted. He doesn't really hit that rail. He's not really that tough. Like, what does he actually do? Well, in Co-Index Chaos Demons, he has an exceptionally important role. What he does is he has the stealth aura. And for demons, specifically, greater demons, stealth is amazing. And so here's the deal. All right, so you're going to take this Demon Prince, and you're probably going to be giving him the Mark of Corn. I like the Mark of Corn because that gives him an extra +2 to his strength. And then we're gonna start dropping him. We're going to give him the Argath King of Blades. And the reason why we're going to give him the Argath King of Blades is because that's going to be giving him, on average, +1 or +2 attacks, and it's going to be giving him probably about +2 to the strength, which is a very, very rational and reasonable thing to want to do. And everyone freaking loves this. All right, so the Demon Prince of Chaos is walking around. He has a 6-inch aura of stealth, which suddenly makes your Greater Unclean One practically unkillable. Because now your Greater Unclean One is going to be like 20 wounds with a toughness of 12, with a 4-up invulnerable save, and you're going to spend 1 CP to have him re-roll saves, and then he's got a 4-up Feel No Pain on top of it. Now you stack all of that with also being -1 to be shot. The guy doesn't die. Like, he just does not die. Oh yeah, and did I happen to mention that if he's below half health and he happens to pass a battle shock test, or any other time that he's passing a battle shock test, which he's at +1 for, he's going to heal D3 wounds. It makes the Greater Unclean One basically unkillable. Then you add the stealth aura to the Keeper of Secrets, for example, who's already -1 to be hit in shooting. Even if your enemy is +1 to hit in shooting against the Keeper of Secrets, now she's still going to be -1 to be hit, because now she's going to be -2 to be hit. So his aura makes a huge difference in the toughness of the big demons. -1 to be hit is always really nice, especially for like your little demons as well, but it really shines when you take these bastions of demons who just suddenly become unkillable in the shooting phase. And it forces your opponent to actually get close to the demons, who really don't have any shooting anyway, who then get to shine in their melee phase. And there's a lot of combos that you can build this off of. So one of my personal favorites is I like to bring Rodicus and the Greater Unclean One together, make them both -1 to be hit. You have the Greater Unclean One hanging out. He's giving the 6-up Feel No Pain to Rodicus. Now Rodicus is also -1 to be hit with a 4-up invuln and reroll saves of 1s if you want to spend the CP on it. Basically just makes it so that nothing's going to die and you can more or less stand out in the middle of the ocean. Put this on top of the fact that this Demon Prince of Chaos, he actually has an armor save, which is pretty dang awesome. And when he has that armor save, well, suddenly the guy, oh, you know, I actually wrote something wrong. He should be at strength 12 when you give him Argath King of Blades. Sorry about that. So he actually has an armor save. He's got a 2-up armor save. You can put him in cover. He gives himself his own stealth aura. So he's not really easy to kill in shooting either. He's got the once per game 3-up invulnerable save, which means that if you because you charge him with something that's nasty, doesn't mean he's going to die, because a 3-up invulnerable save can just save your life sometimes. And he also tends to slap a little bit. So he's going to have the 8 attack, strength 12, AP 2, or 3 if you want to spend if you want to spend a CP on the extra AP. with flat damage 3. So he basically becomes a mini Bloodthirster who just makes the rest of the army unkillable, and he's freaking awesome. Give him a try, you'll love it. Now, generally speaking, if you're running him, you can't run 4 Greater Demons, which is why I call him my mini Bloodthirster. It's because I just dropped my Bloodthirster. I think the Bloodthirster is, I just think he's like a one-shot suicide missile, and he's super easy to kill. So I'd much rather have my Demon Prince be a little bit less killy than the Bloodthirster itself, but make all of my other demons way more survivable. So that's how I like the Demon Prince. Give him a try. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about the next one. This is the Mask of Slaanesh. Now, the Mask of Slaanesh is really used in combination with the Keeper. So let me break this combination for you down. All right, first off, she's fight first and a lone op character, which is really, really good. It means that she can go do your actions for you. It makes her very challenging to be killed in shooting because you have to get within those 12 inches to be able to do so. And then it also, with the fights first, it means that she's not easy to kill with your skirmishing units. So if a unit of, let's just say Storm Boys charge her, she's going to fight first and she's going to kill some of those Storm Boys, which is a really big deal. It makes her very hard to be dealt with. So here's the deal. Here's what the Mask does. She has the ability at the start of the fight phase. She's going to choose an enemy unit within 6 inches, and she's going to give them a -1 to wound modifier. So let's say you're fighting a big brick of, I don't know, Assault Marines. And let's say that we're in Blood Angels. And these Assault Marines are going to, strength 6 when they charge. Well, suddenly the Mask makes the -1 to wound, and they are wounded. So again, wounding your Greater Demons on 6s, which makes them practically useless. Let's say that you're going against with the Keeper Secrets, which is one of my favorite ways to run the Mask. I run her right next to the Keeper Secrets, or close enough at least. So when this unit charges into my Keeper Secrets, suddenly my Keeper Secrets innately is -1 to be hit, and then she's also going to be -1 to be wounded. And then the other part of this the Mask ability is that she's going to give all Slaanesh demons +1 to wound against that unit. So with a strength of 8 +1 to wound, suddenly the Keeper of Secrets is absolutely threatening even vehicles and other big nasties in the game. So effectively, what the Mask enables is she's probably going to be like your action monkey who's going to be sitting around making sure that the Keeper Secrets can't really be charged by anything. Because when you're T10 and you're -1 to be hit and you're -1 to be wounded, and wait a second, you're going to have, 6+, you're going to have 10 attacks that are likely killing all infantry in the game on 2s because you're +1 to wound, are going to be base AP3, because remember, the Keeper Secrets is always within her own aura of the Shadow of Chaos. You can boost her up to AP4 with a flat damage of 3. It is absolutely insane the amount of damage the Keeper Secret puts out. Then you stack on the fact that the Keeper Secrets also has a 4-up invuln and a 5-up Fatal Pain, and you're always going to give the Keeper Secrets the Soul Stealer enhancement, which means every model she kills on a 3-up, she's going to regenerate a wound. So this Keeper of Secrets is it's bananas. When you stack her with the Mask, and you need the Mask for this combination, she is T10, -1 to be hit, -1 to be wounded, 4-up invulnerable save, 5-up feel no pain. Every model she kills, and she'll be +1 to wound them, remind you, with a flat damage 3 and AP3 or 4. Every model that she kills on a 3-up, she's going to heal. And then anytime she has to take a battle shock test, which she's going to be taking at +1 because she's always within her own field of chaos, Shadow of Chaos, she's going to be healing D3 wounds on top of all the damage that she's going to be healing by hitting models. So basically, the Keeper Secrets becomes more or less unkillable. As a matter of fact, I tend to find that my Keeper Secrets, when I stack her with the Mask, and sometimes I'll even have like Nurglings around to make her -2 to be hit in melee, to just counterbalance like +1s to be hits. I find that she's almost tankier, if not actually tankier than the Greater Unclean one with the 4-up Feel No Pain. It is kind of amazing just how tough this model is and what it does for you. So, Mask Keeper Secrets, check it out. All right, let's move on to Chaos Space Marines. We're off demons, now we're going to talk about Chaos Space Marines. My first unit for Chaos Space Marines I really want to break down for you is the Bikers. Listen, these guys are freaking awesome. Okay, they are very fast. They hit exceptionally hard for being 70 points. 70 points. And they're also tough, right? So you're going to get 3 models. They're all going to be T5, which is a big upgrade from the normal T4. They're moving the 12 inches. And you're going to get 2 Melta-Guns on them. Remember, in Chaos Space Marines, you're going to be making Dark Packs. So suddenly those Melta-Guns are going to have sustained hits on them. Which is pretty dang nasty. Then you also have to think about what are they going to be doing when they are in melee? Well, you're going to have 1 Power Fist and 2 Chainswords. That is pretty dang sick. When you stack that with their Dark Packs, suddenly you're getting like sustained hits on Strength 9 and Strength 5 Chainswords because they get +1 strength when they charge. Put that into a detachment and the best attachment for these guys, without a doubt, is going to be the Renegade Raiders. Although Packbound Zealots is also quite good for them, especially if you make them Mark of Slaanesh. These guys become nasty. Suddenly they're move 12 T5, 3 wound models. They've got probably sustained hits on their melted guns. They have an icon, so they're always going to get to re-roll the leadership check for their Dark Pact. And then in melee, they're going to have a Strength 9 Power Fist and 2 Strength 5 Chainswords that are going to be at AP 2 and 3, or 3 for the Power Fist, 2 for the Chainswords, simply because of the Renegade Raiders. So suddenly this 70-point unit, which most people think of, oh, they're an action monkey, actually starts, popping rhinos and doing other crazy things. So this squad rocks for 70 points. A lot of times, right now, everyone's so enamored with the AC/DC, or the Cursed Cultist Dark Commune spam that's going around. When that gets nerfed, and trust me, it's going to get nerfed, these Chaos Bikers are really going to shine. So polish them up, because these dudes are absolute rock stars. I cannot believe the value they gave you for 70 points. Let's talk about another Chaos Space Marines unit, which we're just not seeing people take advantage of. The Possessed. Now, here's the deal. Everyone's like, oh, Possessed suck. Possessed do not suck. Possessed are objectively very good. The reality is that in Chaos Space Marines, the entire edition so far, you've just had better choices, because Chaos Space Marines have had really good options. Now, I'm not harping on Chaos Space Marine, so if you're a Chaos Space Marine player, don't hit me on the comments being like, screw you, you're saying Chaos Space Marines are broken. They're not. They have basically all times had at least one unit that was busted. I'm not saying the army's busted, but they have at least had one unit that is. Previously in the index, it was going to be the Chosen Brick led by the Chaos Lord. When you had a unit that freaking good, why would you bother looking at a unit of Possessed, which are already quite good? They're just not busted. Well, you wouldn't, because the Chosen spam was better. Then you're looking at now the AC/DC. Well, AC/DC is pretty dang busted. I'm not saying that means Chaos Space Marines are busted. I'm saying that unit combination basically is. So why would you look at Possessed when you have those AC/DC? Well, that's going to get nerfed. And it's probably going to be the Dark Commune that gets nerfed, to be fair, because the Accursed Cultists themselves aren't really a problem. It's the way they interact with the Accursed Commune, or the Dark Commune. So let's talk about the Possessed and why they're freaking good. All right, so for 125 points, you get 5, or for 250, you get 10 of these. These guys move base movement 9, which is fast. Very, very fast. You could also always, stack them with a Master Possession to get +1 to your advance rolls and all those things, but you don't even need it, because move 9 is very, very swift. Their T6, which is a very critical toughness point, which you only see in the elitist of elite infantry, like your 8-bound or your Custodes. So outside of them, you don't see T6 in infantry, and that is a huge deal, because it means most of your anti-infantry or anti-elite infantry guys are not wounding them on 2s. They get wounded on 3s. Then they've got their 3-up armor save like all Space Marines, but they come equipped with a 5-up invulnerable save, and they're going to get AP1 once per game from dev wounds. So you choose that dev wound at the correct time, suddenly these guys can really pop off. They're going to like multiple detachments. Once again, Renegade Raiders are awesome, taking them up to the standard AP2, but Packbound Zealots is freaking nice, because you can start running them in Slaanesh so they can still get the advance and charge off, and they're going to be getting the sustained hits 5 in melee, is very, very disgusting. And just as an added bonus, these bad boys also get to take that Icon of Chaos, so they're going to be re-rolling all of their, Dark Packs, right? And that's just a huge, huge freaking deal. So these guys absolutely rock. They are very, very good. They're exceptionally fast, and they benefit from multiple different detachments. You're not using them because there are actually better options, but those better options are always going to get nerfed, because things that are better than this tend to be too good, because these guys are already really good. And I can promise you, if you start using them when other options get a little bit nerfed, because let's be honest, the AC/DC will get nerfed, you're going to be really happy with the way these guys perform. So give them a try. They absolutely rock. Now let's move on to some World Eater stuff that people are not talking about. We have the World Eater's Chaosspawn. Now this is something that I'm very passionate about. So whenever I'm talking to like clients, or whenever I'm running my World Eaters, I pretty much start World Eaters list with 3 of these bad boys. I know that's not the standard Anthony Vanilla list, and I'm not saying anything against Anthony Vanilla. He's a very good player. But the way I like to run my World Eaters is just slightly different. These Chaosspawn are probably the highest value 65-point unit in the freaking game. They have a base move of 8, which means they can go to move 10 because it's World Eaters. You can also give them the advanced charge because it's World Eaters. They have a T5, which is a good base toughness. They have 4 wounds each, which means that they do not degrade very, very quickly, with a 4-up armor save and a 5-up Feel No Pain base, which means that since it's World Eaters, you can always give them a 4-up Feel No Pain. That's pretty dang tough, and they are fast. Add that to their attack profile, they're going to have D6 plus 2 attacks, plus 3 attacks on the charge. Weapon skill, they hit on 4s, which isn't the best, but they are base strength 6, goes up to 7 on the charge, with AP 1 and damage 2. Now, for 65 points, what I want you to do is imagine what other units in the game are 65 points. You have Cultist, you have Space Marine Scouts, you have things like that. Basically, there's a bunch of things that are on Coach's profile or worse, which means these guys interacting against, they're always trading up. Like, they are the king of the sub 70 point units in the entire game. Like, as a matter of fact, even they're probably the king of the 70 point units in the game. These guys are fast. They hit actually quite hard. If you really need to turbocharge them, you're never going to dedicate, say, like Angron to give them reroll to hit roll. But it is entirely possible that they might happen to be near Angron, which means they could get rerolls to hits. Suddenly, these guys just become absolutely disgusting. They're going to break straight through any of these other, like, just low-cost units, and they're just give you a ton of value. Because one thing that you really don't want to do for Chaosspawn is shoot them with things that you have to shoot them with to kill them. If you're shooting these guys with bolters, you're going to do absolutely nothing. They're going to be standing in cover, which means they're going to have a 3-up armor save. They're T5s, so you're winning them on 5s, and then they're going to have a 5-up Feel No Pain on top of that, and any wounds that you don't take off, they'll just heal in their own command phase anyway. Which means you're going to have to be shooting like almost anti-tank weaponry into them to be able to take them down. And even then, they still have a 4-up Feel No Pain on top of 4 wounds. These guys don't necessarily die to a melter or 2. Like, you're going to have to dedicate shooting into them that you would typically want to reserve for your 150 to 200 point units, which is amazing for the World Eater player, because the second you kill them, you're probably just going to spend a CP to sticky the objective they were standing on anyway. So these guys absolutely rock. I run 3 of them in all of my World Eaters list, and I highly recommend other people strongly consider including a few more of them than they're used to in their armies. Now, let's lastly move on to the World Eater Mifine. Now, this is one that I hear people talking about all the time, and I initially thought it was just kind of a bad choice, but it's not. The World Eater Mifine is actually quite good. With its recent point drops in World Eaters, it becomes a much more viable thing. Now, I'm not saying that I would necessarily include this in World Eaters at all times, but there is a real argument for why you would want to include it. So let me kind of break that down for you. First of all, he solves all the problems, at least the World Eater Mifine solves all the problems that the Mifine really typically has. For example, it's slow, it's hard to maneuver, it can't walk through walls. While all of this is true, in World Eater specifically, you can always give them plus 2 inches to move, which takes them to a move of 12. And then you have an auto advance 6 strat in World Eaters, which means that you can guarantee this guy moves 18 inches. And if you happen to have advance to charge, you can charge him after that, which really stacks super well with his ability, because when you think about what his ability does, well, his ability is also quite strong. Oops, sorry, I need to pull that up a little bit. His ability is also quite strong. His ability is going to give him plus 2 to charge against a under starting strength unit. Now, to be fair, this ability can be fairly hard to proc, because typically we don't have all that much shooting in World Eaters, but he gets plus 2 to charge against a unit that is under starting strength, which is a damaged vehicle or any unit of infantry that has lost 1 or more models. Now, one of the really fascinating things is, whoever said that he can only charge the under starting strength unit? So he can charge a unit that's, I don't know, 4 inches away from him that happens to be under starting strength. Then he's going to get plus 2 inches of charge move. He can use that plus 2 inches of the charge to also charge another unit that's, say, further away. Let's say that you have a unit of infantry that is 8 inches away from you, and you have a rhino that is slightly injured, and it is 4 inches away from you. Well, typically, you don't really want to risk not rolling the 8 inches to charge the guy, but you're a wily coyote. So what you're going to do is you're going to declare charge against both the infantry unit and the rhino. So you're going to get plus 2 inches of charge because the rhino is under starting strength, which means you only need a 6 on the dice, not an 8 in the dice, to get into both units. So he can do things like this, and he's going to be bringing another example or another instance of multi-damage into the World Eaters. So he's got the D6 plus whatever damage. I think I actually cropped it a little bit. Let's see if I fix that. Yeah, D6 plus 1 damage on his big shot, on his big hits. This is something that doesn't really exist in World Eaters outside of Angron. So suddenly you have another example of a unit that can really just go and get them. All the World Eater buffs, of course, apply to him. He gets +1 to hit in melee against anything that is under starting strength. This is brutal, and he really, really punches up, and his speed basically covers all the weaknesses that Mauler Fiends typically have. So, guys, this was it. These are a bunch of the really underutilized units in the Chaos faction, whatever, super faction, that I really, really want you guys to give a whirl, because they are actually quite good. Now, some of them do require other units to help enable them. The Mauler Fiend, for example, really likes being run with Forge Fiends, which is an interesting take in World Eaters, but it's not necessarily a wrong take. Forge Fiend, or the Forge Fiend, could damage the whatever, which means that the Mauler Fiend can even come out of Strat Reserve for a 7 on the dice charge. 9 inches away, but he's +2 inches of charge. Or you could have him advance up with whatever and just get crazy, ridiculous threat ranges. So a lot of these units need to be enabled by other units. The mask needs the Keeper Secrets. Keeper Secrets needs the mask. They need to, work synergistically together. But once you start looking for some of these synergies, you can see some seriously powerful underutilized units, and I hope you enjoy utilizing them. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to be doing one of these for each one of the super factions, so I'll talk about some of the other ones in future videos, and I'm really, really pumped up to hear your thoughts. I didn't really talk about Death Guard and Thousand Suns because, honestly, I think everything in both those codexes are pretty well represented, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, if I missed something, put it down below. And until next time, happy crumping, you beautiful Krats and Gits. Bye.